Alrighty, this is going to be a video on the box Valentine from Hack the Box. Recently retired, so shouldn't be too difficult, shouldn't be too long of a video. Um, the concepts are pretty simple, but it's more of a real world engagement and setup, so that it makes for a pretty interesting challenge. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and make a directory for our nmap findings, and we will run the usual nmap sv for enumerating versions, sc to run default scripts on the ports found open, OA just to output it, and we'll do initial, and then the machine, which is 10.10.10.79. Let that run. Based on the name and various other clues that'll be thrown about this box, it's it's not a far reach to assume that it's going to be the Heartbleed vulnerability, and especially now that we see that SSL is running. Um, but we will look into that more. Let's just take a look at this output. We have SSH running, and it's a pretty old version of SSH, 5.9. So it seems like that's already outdated. There could be active exploits against that. Um, Probably not what we're looking for, but it's something to keep in the back burner just in case something doesn't go well for us. And then we have HTTP and SSL or HTTPS running on port 80 and 443 on their default ports. So we will go ahead and run GoBuster on it. So we'll do URL is 10.10.10.79. Word list is user share word lists dirbuster directory. And this list is loaded onto Kali on a fresh install of Kali, this user share word list dirbuster. I just found that most CTF challenges, if it's not within this list, it's probably not meant to be found. And then we'll give it 30 threads, and then we'll set up some extensions to find PHP and TXT, just in case there's some transient files running around. So while that is going, let's go ahead and go to the web portal. So we see here little kind of comic image, and this symbol here is the Heartbleed bug image, the official image that was released for the bug when it was disclosed. So that's just another hint there that this needs to be, or we're probably going to be exploiting Heartbleed. So let's go ahead and do Heartbleed exploit GitHub. See what we can find here. I believe this is the exploit I used when I first worked on this box. Let's go ahead and do bleed.py. Go ahead and paste that in there. I prefer to not use Metasploit just because I like to exploit things manually. I like to know what code is running against the service I'm trying to exploit. I like to figure it out on my own, and then if I ever need to just kind of hurry up and exploit, I can turn to Metasploit. And also too, if there's a weird something weird going on with the script, it's a lot easier to troubleshoot it if it's just a local Python script rather than a Metasploit module. Those are a little harder to manipulate. So let's go ahead and run this. Let's see. So we'll do bleed. We need the server 79, and let's do that. And now with the Heartbleed bug, it is an exploit against the SSL handshake that a client and server use to continuously open a connection. It's called a heartbeat. Basically, the client will every now and then talk to the server and just to make sure that the connection is still established and still good. And if it's not, it'll obviously close it out. Um, but so what it'll do is basically ask for more information than the server was originally prepared to give it, the client. So what'll happen is that the server will pull the first bit of information that the client asked for from memory, and then it'll go to pull the second one, and if it's more than what the server was expecting, it'll just keep pulling data from memory even though it doesn't have anything to do with that handshake. So it could be anything. It could be SSH keys, it could be stored passwords in memory, it could be anything. So that's what this does. So that's why we see this garbage here. So that's just what the next available bits of data were. So we can keep running this. Nothing's really changing. So we can tell it to, I think I saw, yeah, -n. Tell it to run like 15 times. Service not known. Oh, -n 15. Okay, and then we can see. Um, so it looks like we got some sort of directory. Okay, so let's try like 20 times. And we'll just keep running it and see if we... Okay, so looks like we did get a little bit of data of what we were looking for. We can see if this is the full string or not. Echo blah, whoop, echo blah, and you can tell by the double equal sign that it's probably base 64. Okay, so that's not the full string. Run it another 20 times. So that is the ultimate goal. A little skip into time there. Here we go. So again, since it's just pulling from memory and it's just pulling the next available data from what we asked, you just got to keep trying until you find something valuable. So here we see that there is a variable text and it's equal to this base 64 string. So we will echo blah and base 64-d, and it returns heartbleed, believe the hype. Okay, so that is good to know. And we can see here that /decode PHP was also found by GoBusters. So let's go ahead and check it out. So decode.php. Let's go ahead and try and put our string in here, and looks like it's just a decoder for base 64. So that's probably the intended route of what to do with that data once you find it. And then there's encode here as well. No data is stored on our servers. So, okay, so we could do like hello, and it looks like it base 64 encodes it. So that's that. So now that we have that, let's take a look at some of what else GoBuster found. So this /dev sounds interesting, and it looks like it redirects So let's go to /dev. It looks like it redirects just with that forward slash, or that following slash. Looks like we have notes, which just talks about decoder and encoder. Make sure it's only done client side. Okay, and then we have hype.key or hype underscore key, and it looks like it's a bunch of hex data. So we'll go in hex to ASCII, go to rapid tables here, convert that, and we get an encrypted RSA private key. So we'll name it just like it was named on the server, hype underscore key. Set paste, do that, and it's encrypted. So a few things um, to kind of piece together once you get to this step is that we successfully exploited Heartbleed. We got a string, which is several words strung together with no spaces, so assumably a password. We have SSH running on this server, and we just found an RSA key within a dev directory. So piecing all that information together, what we can do is take this key, chmod it to 600, so that we can use it um, with SSH. And then let's just try SSHing into the host using the key. And since it's hype underscore key, we'll just assume that the user is hype, and then we'll log in as them, 10.10.10.79. And then we'll copy this, because with encrypted RSA keys, it'll prompt you for a password even though you're using an SSH key. We'll just give it a minute. So enter passphrase, put that in there, boom. We are logged in as hype. So here we are, ID, hostname, cool. So we're in Valentine, and we have successfully gotten user. So what we can do next is go into, well, let's just, let's kill that since we got what we needed out of that. So let's clear it. Let's copy lin enum into here, and then python-m simple HTTP server on port 80. And let's wget 10, 10, 14, 5. Whoop, kill that. 14.5 slash lin enum.sh. Cool. So we got that. Let's go ahead and run it and see what it returns for us. Just take a couple minutes to run. Hmm. Give it some time here. So we can kill that. All right. Let's go up to the top. See what we're looking at. So immediately when I first did this box, I took a look at the kernel version and noticed that it was last updated in 2012. So that explains the outdated version of SSH that was found through Nmap. And when I first did this box, I immediately did dirty cow. And that ended up obviously working since it's such an outdated kernel. Yeah, Ubuntu 12.04. We're now up to like 17 something, maybe 18. But that's never the intended Privesc solution for these hack the box challenges, so let's keep looking through and see what we can find out. This is just pass WD. Root is allowed to log in through SSH, so maybe we can find some keys. Any cron jobs that are running? Not really seeing anything out of the ordinary. Sorry. Network information. Looks like we're locally listening on 631 and then port 22, port 80. Okay. And then this is where the fun happens. So it's definitely it's not an obvious Privesc solution, and I'm sorry, no, it should be there. It's not an obvious Privesc solution, and it's pretty interesting. It's not difficult either. Um, Actually, you know what? I don't even see it here. So what would let's see. I wonder. All right, let's give this box a reset because I'm not seeing. Someone might have killed it. I will cut the video here and we'll come back when the box is reset. All right, so we have successfully reset the box. Let's go ahead and SSH back in. See if I go back up here, grab the password. Okay, so we're back in. So we could even bring that back. We'll go into temp this time. wget 10 10 14 5 slash lin enum.sh. Okay, we got that. Let this run again, and we'll take a look at the process output again, and there'll be something interesting within that that's not normally seen, and that I thought was pretty unique, and not that I've seen done in any CTF before. So it should be running right after this. Let's go ahead and minimize that. All right. So we don't have to worry about any of that. Go back up to the process list. Okay. All right. And there it is. Okay. So even through normal enumeration, if you're just going through manually, you would want to do a PS AUX and possibly grep for root just to see what root is running. See if anything you can latch on to try and get yourself up to root level on the system. But one thing we see here is that root is running a tmux session, and not just a normal tmux session, but they're using the -S flag, which if we go into here, as you can see, I'm using tmux myself. So if we do man tmux and we look for that -S, it's to specify a full alternative path to the server socket. If it's specified, the default socket directory is not used, blah, blah, blah. So what it does is that it opens up a server socket so that a specific user, or in this case, a root user, could come in, start up a tmux socket into this location. So they called it dev sesh. Um, and when somebody else needs to get into that session, um, either to use those credentials to go into that particular folder, or whatever the case may be, they can just attach themselves into the session, and then they are that user running that session. So assumably this root user has left this open either intentionally or unintentionally. It's probably not a obviously not a good idea to leave a root level tmux session open, especially to such an outdated server. So let's go ahead and take advantage of that. So what we do in order to literally attach ourselves to that session is we do tmux, we'll do that dash capital S flag. We'll specify that, let's see, what was it? It was, trying to find it again, dot devs slash dev sesh, and then we just type attach. Okay, so this bottom, these bottom tabs down here are my local tmux session windows. So like this is when I was running man, so we'll exit out of that. And now we have a nested tmux session. So this is my local one running on my local terminal, and this one is the one that was listed in the process list. So now we see that we are now root, um, and we have a tmux session on the system. So what we can do is if we just do c, no, uh, I forget the ways to, you can add new tabs. There's just a special way to do it within a tmux session, because the hotkey for like opening a new window is Control B and then C. Um, but obviously, if I run that, it'll just do it on my local one. So I thought if you like hit B twice. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So it's Control B, and then whatever command. So we exit out of that. So we are root. If we go into the root directory, we are here. We'll do head-c3 root.txt. Oop, there we go. So we got first three characters. We can see what this curl is. Yep. So it's probably just a cron job running. Yep. So every 2 minutes it runs that. So that's probably why when we were running the Heartbleed exploit, probably wasn't showing up the entire time. So what it does is just does a curl. Let's see. Where are we? That's not right. Ah. Oh, interesting. There we go. Does a curl into localhost into that decode, and then it let's see, and then sends that data into that curl command into that. And that is the box. Really interesting privesc. Not too hard. You just have to really open your mind up, and not really get tunnel vision into normal privesc methods, um, such as cron jobs, stuff like that. Um, and yeah, so I will end the video here, and I will see you guys in the next one.